Hi, Boo. My name is Estelle. Welcome. This episode is going to be recorded in two angles. The first angle, you're going to be having my face. Hi. Back there, that's my granddaddy. Say hi to my granddaddy. Don't be motherfucking rude. Say hi to my grandmama. That's his wife. That's my mother's mother. That's my father. My mother's father. I was going to say my father's father. That's my mother's parents. That's my granddaddy and my grandmommy. And I love her. And I love this man. I love him. Alright, we're chilling with them today. So today is another episode of Hanging with Estelle. Nice to meet you. If this is your first time here, hey, I do a lot of cursing. If you don't like cursing, your booty's about to be clenched because I'm not gonna change. Okay, so but honestly, this episode is Hanging with Estelle, and we're going to be reading from How to Meet Yourself, the workbook for self-discovery by Dr. Nicole Lepra. There's already an episode with one chapter recorded. So go ahead and watch that if you want to watch the introduction of the book. What is this? What the fuck is Hanging with Estelle? Hanging with Estelle is 20 to 30 minutes of constructive, productive mental health conversation for you. From posts on Instagram to stuff that I wrote from therapy to things that I've read to actually reading books and doing journaling on camera with you guys. It's all of the above. The goal here is to give you something that your brain can hold on to help you in your mental health journey. The goal here is to give you something positive and productive to focus on for 20 to 30 minutes when your brain starts to race, when you start to have intrusive thoughts, when you start to need just a voice, somebody to talk, somebody talk to me, somebody say something. I'm here. Press play. I'm going to be talking for 20 to 30 minutes. On this page, I also do tarot videos. So if you like to watch tarot videos every Monday, I upload a new weekly tarot video. You can see me, you can watch me, you can enjoy it. I'm also on Instagram at Empress Estelle. If you want to find me there and just, chit chat with me on a daily basis, find me there. So, this camera flips the image. So, I'm going to show you the book, but you're going to see it flipped over. I don't know why it does that. I don't know. I'm not a phone person. I'm a creative. I don't know. I'm not a technology person. So we did chapter one, which is like introduction, and now we're going to do section one, which is the actual first chapter. Now there are about 25 pages in this section. Let me see exactly how many pages. When it comes to showing you to actually journaling, I will put the camera down and flip it so that you guys can see the wording correctly. There are 40. Wait, what number is this? The middle. K. Oh my god, that was French. 20. 20 pages in this section. I'm definitely not gonna read 20 pages because if you want to hear every single word from the book, guess what? You buy the book. You buy the book. I'll read whatever I think my spirit tells me to read, and we'll go with that. Obviously, I have kind of like went through a few of the pages so that I can kind of highlight what I want to read today because it was a lot of reading and and not enough writing parts. Again, the writing parts will be visible on camera. Let's get started. Get you some water, get you something to drink, get you a bottle of wine, get you a blunt, baby, whatever you need, get comfortable. All right. Section 1. How we meet ourselves. Your conditioning. You are not who you think you are. Goddamn, that light is bright in my face, huh? Jesus. Okay. That's too bright. That makes me feel like I'm a ghost. Like, you know how Michael Jackson transformed? Yeah, you look like I transformed. Okay. This is better because I don't want my parents not to recognize me. Goddamn. My daddy dead though. My daddy just died. Okay. How we meet ourselves. Okay, I'm reading some parts, not all of it. One, two, three. Three paragraphs out of five here. At birth, we are fully dependent on the most important people in our lives. That is our parental figures or our parents. They are responsible for meeting all of our needs, feeding us, loving us, keeping us safe. They make up our earliest environments and home. Now, within these relational environments are beliefs, ways of communicating, ways of expressing or coping with emotions, and other habits that we witness throughout our childhood. Our parent figures shape our world through modeling. We begin to embody the same thought patterns and behaviors that we saw in others around us. This is called our conditioning. Let me bring it closer so y'all can hear me. This is called our conditioning, okay? I thought I just saw something fall outside my house. Sorry, I'm sitting in the living room. As adults, many of us remain unaware that many of our beliefs or habits may come from these early experiences in our childhood. Conditioning happens at the subconscious level. As babies and children, we're not subconsciously choosing, deciding. I'm going to start over. As babies and children, we don't consciously decide to store information that our brain is storing. Our brain just does it for us. Our subconscious mind stores the neural pathways that formed over time from the repetition of thoughts, behavior, and habits. Our nervous system begins to form around 6 weeks in utero and continues to develop until the age of 25. How old are you watching this? Let me know in the comments. Are you still developing? Our home environment and the relationships we experience within that environment actually influence the way our nervous system develops. If our first relationships were safe, secure, and predictable, our nervous system is typically resilient, able to recover from stressful experiences. If our first relationships were not safe, our nervous system becomes hyper vigilant, always anticipating danger. Hmm. Over time, a dysregulated nervous system can pave the way for dysfunctional coping mechanisms like substance use, reactivity, self sabotage, excessive working. It can also lead to insecurities and disconnection. When this happens, we don't feel safe in our bodies, so we find ways to leave that threatening space. I'm gonna highlight some stuff. So our relationships were safe, secure, and predictable, and if nervous system is resilient and recovers from stressful relationships. But if our relationships are not were not safe, our nervous system becomes hyper vigilant, always anticipating danger. When this happens, we don't feel safe in our bodies, so we find ways to leave that threatening space. The most common way people leave their bodies is through a process called dissociation. I do that. Dissociation is where our bodies are physically present, but we're mentally gone somewhere else. People describe this experience as feeling hazy, confusion, getting lost in thoughts, or distracting behaviors, often losing large chunks of time. You may discover on the journey that your beliefs, your coping styles, and behavior you continue to repeat even though they no longer serve you. None of us could choose the habits modeled to us in childhood. It is not helpful to think about them as good or bad. They are simply information that we picked up in our earliest years from adults that were doing the best they could with the level of awareness and tools that they had modeled to them in the environment and circumstances in which they lived in. Now, thankfully, as an adult, you have the ability to witness your conditioning and make space for new choices that are more in alignment with who you actually want to be. Some of us grew up with an overbearing parent figure who monitored us closely, how we dressed, what we thought, how we acted. And since being ourselves wasn't accepted or allowed in childhood, we may continue to be who we think other people want us to be, or might develop a habit of looking to others to figure out how to behave. Some of us grew up in a home where a parent figure yelled and threatened us when they were upset. In adulthood, we might develop a habit of micromanaging other people's feelings to avoid upsetting anyone or being on the receiving end of an explosive behavior. Alternatively, we might hide parts of who we are, fearing that we will be punished or ashamed if we show them to others. I'm sorry, I just thought about something. When we have had an emotionally distant parent who didn't or couldn't connect with us to guide us through our difficult childhood emotions, we develop a habit of keeping ourselves distant, disconnected, distracted in our relationships. We don't do this because we want to hurt others. We do this because we are afraid of feeling rejected, abandoned, ignored, like we were in childhood. And in order to cope, we continue to keep a distance from people because we don't want to experience that pain again. At the same time, we deeply crave emotional closeness, which causes us to be at conflict with ourselves. For most of us, our earliest habits and patterns were based primarily on satisfying other people's needs, not our own. So we continue to live our lives for other people well into adulthood. Chronic people pleasing becomes a coping mechanism, and over time, we end up feeling resentful and unfulfilled. At the same time, we may not even know what our needs are, so we remain understandably unable to meet them. For many of us, this cycle is almost entirely unconscious, occurring outside of our awareness. To break this habit of sleepwalking through life, we're now going to learn how to become conscious so that we see the patterns and wake up to a new way of living. Becoming conscious or aware in the present moment will allow us to make choices beyond our habit self to rediscover who we really are. We can learn to identify and understand our needs, creating space for us to practice new ways of meeting these needs rather than continuing to rely on the habits that are stored in our brains. Consciousness. At its simplest way, consciousness is the awareness of your internal and external experience. Daily consciousness check-in. So it explains what consciousness is, and I think that you know what consciousness is being aware of what you're doing right now, what you're feeling, what your intention is, what you're trying to project, like what you're trying to feel right now. Okay. So to awaken to awaken consciousness and increase self-awareness, try practicing the following consciousness check-in. Set an intention to create 3 moments throughout your day when you can pause, check in with 2 things. What am I doing? And where is my attention at the moment? When you're To help you remember this, you can set an alarm. And when your alarm goes off, notice and ask yourself the following. What am I doing? Where is my attention? Or what am I paying attention to? If I'm lost in thought, what am I thinking about? Then it gives you an example of like notice yourself. Hold on. Yeah, we're in a place where I want y'all to see the book. So I'm gonna flip the camera.